Hey everyone, welcome to our Asset Management Friday segment of the Passive Income Through Multifamily Real Estate podcast. I'm your co-host, Kyle Mitchell, also joined by Gary Lipsky. This segment is focused on educating operators, building better systems, and becoming a best-in-class operator. Since we're also live on Facebook right now, make sure to type in any questions you have in the comments section below. Also, be sure to check out our Facebook group, Passive Income Through Multifamily Real Estate. All right, today on the show, we have Jeff Klotz. How you doing, Jeff?
I'm doing good, sir. How are you?
I'm doing very well. We appreciate you being on. If you could start by telling the listeners a little bit more about yourself and what you currently do.
Okay. Well, great. My pleasure. My name is Jeff Klotz, obviously, and I run a company called the Klotz Group of Companies, which is a vertically integrated real estate investment platform with a focus on multifamily. The platform consists of about a dozen subsidiaries, including we're ranging from real estate brokerage, property management, construction, development, investment banking, digital media, and a handful of other what I'll call ancillary service providers that by nature were designed and built to serve our own in-house investment objectives.
Well, thanks for coming on board, Jeff. You've obviously been incredibly successful in scaling your business. So let's talk about that today. You know, what were some of the key decisions you made along the way that helped scale your business?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, I think timing is everything. And so the last big growth spurt we incurred, which is really what took us from around 100 employees to over 1,000 employees, was back during the beginning of the last downturn. And I think it had a lot to do with timing, obviously, but the ability to source and locate and find the absolute best deals within the market had a lot to do with it. The ability to scale the team with quality, effective, productive folks. We had started that process or that growth spurt with a team of about 100, and many of us had worked closely together for about a 10-year stretch, and had gotten to know it quite well, and we're doing great as a team, functioning great as a team. And I think the real challenge in scaling was adding so many new people to that team so quick during a period of rapid growth. And so I think that I'd give credit to the people. Right, I surrounded myself by the absolute best people I could find. And we were obsessed with figuring out how to work the best we could together, and that's what really enabled us to grow at such a lightning fast speed that we did about 10, 12 years ago.
And I'm sure there were some bumps along the road, but you know, what were some of the key things that helped make it work? Obviously, you've had 10 years experience together, which was huge to lay that foundation, but maybe, you know, how you overcame some of those obstacles.
Well, I've been in the multifamily real estate investment business since 1995. I love it. You're right. To say there's bumps in the road might be an understatement. I mean, there is just a lot of challenges in this business. I think, in fact, you could almost assume that nothing will go right. It's how you deal with those challenges and overcome those obstacles and all those other issues that you encounter. That's probably the most important aspect of it. I think that, for us, it was just the relentless pursuit for excellence, setting a very, very high bar and stopping at, nothing less than achieving that, basically. Right. And it's tough because our business strategies, our goals, our targets, whatever you want to call it, they're not easy. They weren't low. To succeed in this business with a lot of competition, you've got to set yourself apart. And I think for us that the scalability really came with our ability to control all of our own resources, control our own destiny. The platform itself literally relies us to rely on very few outside third-party companies or organizations or even people. And so when you're all working together as one team with one common goal, you're dealing with the problems, you're dealing with the successes, you're celebrating the wins and victories, it makes a big difference.
Yeah, I like that. As someone that owns multiple businesses, what are some of the most important KPIs that you look at?
Well, geez, I mean, I think that every business has a different set of KPIs. I mean, obviously the basics, right? In real estate, you're looking at income, you're looking at expense, you're looking at NOI, but everything from leads. I mean, we focus on an enormous. I think our global corporate organization dashboard consists of over 100 KPIs, from lead sources and advertising spends to closing rates and ratios to production times and schedules, budgets, timelines, you name it, right? So I don't know that I could nail down any one thing in particular, but the concept of KPIs with measurable data, meaningful measurable data that can be used on the fly as a navigation tool with your decisions that need to be made is critically important. I mean, it's surprising just how many companies and efforts don't measure not just their day-to-day performance, but their hour-to-hour performance. And so we're obsessed with measuring the data. Some are tracking by the hour, some are tracking by the day, some are tracking by the week, month, quarter, you name it.
How do you go about quantifying all those KPIs? So you got 100 KPIs, someone's looking at it. It could probably be very overwhelming, and you utilize those, those data points to actually make a decision on your business. How do you quantify all that and make the right decisions based off of all those different KPIs?
That's a good question. I'm still trying to figure that out myself.
Yeah, us too.
I mean, the reality of it is every business has a leader. And so in our case, most of those leaders are presidents of the subsidiary in which they manage. And so, they've got their own task, they're running their own business, and they're reporting up to the executive team at the corporate level. And so, I think it's a funnel basically, right? So it starts off with a pretty wide scope, and then it funnels up to a pretty narrow scope as it gets to us. And so, hopefully along the way, if before it gets to me or the rest of my executive team, hopefully the service level or the platform level or the subsidiary level presidents or business unit leaders are handling those issues, resolving any problems. They're identifying the successes or the challenges, and they're dealing with them.
And do you guys have any favorite tools or software that you'd like to use to help manage all these projects, all the properties, all the things that you guys do?
Well, yes, we do. I mean, I think utilizing technology is key. I mean, of course, we're on the Microsoft 365 program with all of its bells and whistles, and every single day we learn a new trick of the trade that can be used to help us in tracking and communicating and everything else. But we use a rent manager software for the property management. We use both Timberline and Power Broker for the construction side and the deal flow side, and so many of our other businesses. And almost every one of our businesses has an industry leading operational software, accounting software, almost a KPI dashboard type software. And ideally, we wish we could have just one software that could run all dozen of the operating companies, but there hasn't been that perfect software. I mean, I think you could spend a lot of time, money, and effort searching for that. I almost accuse the software companies of having a pact where they just don't deliver everything you need. So you're required to buy multiple levels of software. But utilizing technology to get and stay one step ahead of the competition is key for us.
I know you're a big proponent of mindset, and I've heard that throughout this interview. What got you started and on mindset, and how does that play a role in all the companies that you've built?
Wow, that's a good question. I mean, look, you yourself, you control your own destiny in life. I mean, I think that it's your mind can be your biggest asset or your worst nightmare or your biggest enemy. And I think getting your head right, keeping your mind right is the key, right? And I think that the human body and the human mind is a wonderful thing, and it just amazes me every day. The more you evolve, the more you learn, the more you expand your mind, the more you grow, the more you can push yourself. And I try to do just that for both myself and everyone around me. I want both myself and everyone around me to be the best version of themselves they can be. We talk a lot about excellence, but I think that means something different to everyone. And so we're keenly focused on both the mind and both the body as well. But I think that understanding each other, just this past week we had several sessions understanding personalities and temperament, what drives individuals, how to relate to individuals, how to work well, how to build a bigger, better, faster, stronger team. All those things. I mean, we're talking about soft skills for the most part. Anybody can learn hard skills. Anybody can adopt and adjust and learn and gain capabilities or experience or everything that kind of builds into that hard skill category. But the soft skill category is something that, a lot of folks don't quite understand and is overlooked. And so we really try to spend a lot of time focusing on that as a team. It helps us better understand ourselves, each other, our residents, our clients, our partners, our investors, you name it. And I think the more you understand who it is you're working with, the better you are at working with them.
Yeah, I'm a big proponent of mindset, and obviously you can't grow to such a huge organization without that being such a strong foundation.
Well, you got a good point there. I mean, I didn't quite understand it as much as I do today, and I hope to understand it a whole lot better tomorrow. but it certainly makes it a whole lot more difficult. I mean, I always say it's easy to grow an organization. It's hard to maintain an organization and run an organization that has grown. And so, like almost anything in life, right? Growth spurts equal growth pains, and how you deal with those is probably the key.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass it over to Kyle to finish this up.
All right, Jeff, what is your asset management superpower?
Oh boy, I think we somewhat alluded to it earlier, right? The intense and obsessive focus on KPIs, data. It's one thing to see and hear and feel an asset, but really watching it perform on a minute by minute, hour by hour basis, tracking the KPIs, the data intensely and obsessively, I think is really what makes all the difference in the world. I mean, it helps to understand real estate. Again, I started out in this business. I feel like I know multifamily as good as anyone else does. And I've been in every single aspect of multifamily from every single angle. And so I think that understanding what it makes it work, what makes it tick, what makes it click, what makes it operate, how it performs, and then tracking it obsessively and compulsively is just a big deal. I mean, we're obsessed with it.
Yep. Awesome. Well, Jeff, thanks for coming on the show, talking to us a little bit about mindset and scaling. If you can tell the listeners where they can find out more about you.
Probably the best way to reach me or learn about us is on our website at theklotzcompanies.com.
Awesome. Everyone listening in, thanks for hopping on. And if you like this episode, head over to iTunes and Stitcher, give us a rating, subscribe, and review so we can continue to grow the audience. And we'll talk to everyone next week. Hey, everyone. Thanks again for tuning in. We really appreciate your support. If you're interested in learning more about APT Capital Group and speaking to someone on our team, click on the link and schedule a call with us. We're here to help, and we'd be excited to speak with you and get to know more about you and your goals. Talk to you soon.